Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. And you're probably saying, Audrey, it's been a minute. Yeah, I finally actually had a moment. So instead of you guys doom scrolling, why not do a little bit of math with me? All right, I'm only on here for about a good 20 minutes. And today's topic, we're going to work on a lot of those age word problems that you generally see either on the GED, the ASVAB, the AccuPlacer, or maybe even the TEAS test here and there. So if these are some concepts that can really help you out, come on in. This is the perfect live for you. So we're going to have three age word problems that you're going to see here, and we're going to break it down step by step. So number one, Angie is 6 years older than Heather. 6 years ago, Angie was twice as old as Heather was. How old is Heather now? So I know you're like, I don't know. Is she A, 12, B, 18, C, 24, or D, 25? So you're probably thinking, how can I figure this out? All right. Well, one, there's two people. Okay, the first one, we got Heather. And let's say Heather is our ex. Then the other person is Angie. You got Big Ange over here. And the one thing that we know about Ange, she's basically 6 years older than Heather. So I can say X plus 6. So now we got to take a look at the next part. This says 6 years ago. All right. So that's in the past. So basically, we're saying 6 years ago, Angie was twice as old as Heather was. So we know Heather is going to be X. So we know that Ange is basically 6 years older than Heather. But then twice as old as Heather 6 years ago. So when we take a look at this, we're going to have two situations here. One is going to be dealing with our X plus 6, which is our Ange, but then we're going to take away 6 because this is happening 6 years ago. And then we're going to compare with twice as old, Heather was. So remember, Heather is our X. Minus the 6 because this is happening 6 years ago. So now we got ourselves set up. So if you take a look here, we have a positive 6 and a negative 6. Well, those two bad boys just cancel out and gives us straight X. Now equals, and we have 2 times X minus 6. Here we can distribute. So that will give us 2x minus 12. So now that we want to get our x's on one side of the equal sign, so what we have to do is we got to subtract our 2x. So 1x minus 2x gives me a negative 1x. And then we're going to bring down our equals negative 12. So if negative 1x equals negative 12, that means we need to divide both sides by negative 1. And a negative divided by a negative gives us a positive. So x is going to equal to 12. Now, who is x? Heather is x. And we want to know how old is Heather now? Well, Heather is 12. All right. So, breaking it on down. So this time, we got another age situation. Hey, normal shifty. We got another one. So Sid is twice as old as June. Okay, in 3 years. So now we're talking advancement. In 3 years, the sum of their ages will be 66. How old are they now? So we got Sid is either 10 and June is 20, Sid is 15 and June is 30, Sid is 40 and June is 8, Sid is 40 and the other one's 20. So this is what we got to think of. Process of elimination, PO. Now, if they're saying that Sid is going to be twice as old as June, all right, that eliminates. So Sid is not twice as old as June. For A, it's the other way around. So A is out. Okay, Sid is not twice as old as June. That's the other way around. This is out. Okay, 40 and 8. Seriously? Not twice. That's done. But this one, Sid, June, that's twice as much. It has to be D. And you're like, wait, we didn't even set anything up. Exactly. When it comes to GED, ASVAB, Accuplacer, anything, ACT, SAT, any of those standardized assessments, you need to do PO, process of elimination. Use your math background knowledge to help break down to see what's available. Now, once you find your answer, click it, bubble it, circle it, move on. All right? But if you want, just for giggles, to figure out how to set this up, I'll do it for you for today. But during the test, seriously, click it, bubble it, move on. All right? So now we're saying Sid, which I'm going to say for S, is twice as old as June. Okay, so that'll be 2J. So in 3 years, the sum of their ages. So we don't know what June is. Okay, so Junie is going to be my J. So we're saying in 3 years, the sum of their ages will be 66. So that means I'm taking Sid, which is 2J, and I'm going to add 3 to it. Because 3 years, that's in the future, so I'm adding the 3 this time. Now, for June, I'm going to say J plus 3. Okay, because I don't know what June's age is. We're going to figure that out, right? So this is going to equal, they said the sum, so that's why we're adding, of their ages will be 66. Let's slide this over a little bit more. All right, so now let's combine our like terms. So I have 2J and I have J. That will give me 3J. Then I have 3 and plus 3. That gives me 6. And it's going to equal, there's 66. So now I got to subtract 6 on both sides because the main goal is to figure out my J. Isolate the variable. So we have 3J is equal to 60. I like to switch colors so you can see the whole process a little bit. Now, I need to divide both sides by 3. So 3 divided by 3 gives me 1, but I don't need the 1 as a placeholder per se because I still have my J. So now 60 divided by 3, that will give me 20. So J, my Jaybird, June is 20 years old. Now to figure out, Sid is twice as old as June. So if I multiply that 20 by 2, I'm going to get my 40. That just proves this point. Now, when you're taking this test, you should not be spending so much time breaking all these things down. Remember, it's a timed assessment. If you're going after the ASVAB, you're given 1 minute per question. Okay, so you're really going to have some questions you're going to know right off the bat. Some of the questions you're going to need a little more assistance with, okay? So the times that you don't spend the full 1 minute for, guess what? You can use it for more questions like this to break down. All right, so we have one more question. We are like flying through this, which is awesome. All right, so we have Abby, and I've done this one on one of my lives on TikTok. So if you ever want to come and join me live, I'm usually there every day. Sometimes I try to sneak it on in there because in between tutoring sessions. So we have Abby is 1/3 her mother's age. In 12 years, she'll be half her mother's age. How old is Abby now? Is she A, 13, B, 12, C, 10, or D, 8? Okay, let me give you a quick little moment. Try to wrap your head around it. Let's see, how old is Abby? So if Abby is 1/3 her mother's age, in 12 years, she'll be half her mother's age. How old is Abby now? Is she A, 13, B, 12, C, 10, or D, 8? Okay, while you guys are thinking, I'm going to start rambling on as usual. So if you're taking your GED, you have either 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, or 4 point questions. They're not going to label it for you on the assessment. But if you've taken the GED before and you just missed it by like 1 to possibly 10, maybe 12 questions, 12 points, can't even speak anymore. It's because you skipped over problems that were basically 4 point questions. Now, your 4 point questions are going to deal with slope. It's going to deal with the equation line. It's going to deal with graphing. It's going to deal with system of equations. It's going to be dealing with some of these word problems. Some of these are 4 point questions, especially if it's a system of equation and if it deals with volume. All right. If you skip any of those mathematically, you will not pass the GED. Okay. You need to get at least 1 or 2 of those 4 point questions in order to pass. So if you need assistance with that, you have somewhere to go to. All you have to do is just message me. All right. So let's take a look. So here we go. Abby is 1/3 her mother's age. Okay. So we don't know Abby, but we're going to label her as A. Why not? All right. We know that her mother is actually going to be 3 times as Abby's age. And how do I know that? Because it says right here, Abby is 1/3 her mother's age. If she's 1/3 her mother's age, that means her mom has to be 3 times Abby's age. Okay? Now, they're saying in 12 years. That means we are going into the future. We are going to be adding 12 to each of their names. Okay? She will be half her mother's age. So let's take a look. Abby is going to be her A plus 12. And it's plus 12 because we're looking at what's happening in 12 years. Now, her mother, she's going to be 1/2 her mother's age. Well, her mother is going to be 3 times Abby plus 12 because we're doing 12 years in the future. But they said she'll be half. So we're going to take half of this. Either you can divide it by 2 or you can put it multiplied at 1/2. So we want to solve this. And I know right away you saw a fraction. You're like, oh no, not doing that. Okay, yes, you are. You have to. Suck it up, Buttercup. You're going to have to do it. Now, but this is what you can do. Since you are basically multiplying by 1/2, we can do the inverse of 1/2. The inverse of 1/2 is 2 over 1, aka 2. So this is what I can do. I can multiply both sides by 2. Because when I do that, The 2 in the 1/2 in the denominator and the 2 as a whole number can cancel out to give me 1. See the 1 right there? And what happens if we take, I'm just going to hide this side for a second. What happens when you multiply 1 to anything? It always equals itself. So from over here, I can just bring down my 3a plus 12. Okay? So that's taking care of what's happening on the right-hand side. So now, what's going on the left-hand side? Well, let's cover up this side so we can focus on it. So over here, I can multiply everything, the a and the 12, by the 2. So that's what a lot of people know as the distributive property. So 2 times a gives me 2a, plus 2 times 12 gives me 24. All right? So now our goal is to solve for a. So that means, let me cover this up so it won't be so intense. That means we need to get our a's on one side of equal sign. It doesn't matter which side. I know there's probably a lot of teachers who are like, shut up, Audrey. But it really doesn't matter which side. And I know a lot of you guys do not like negatives, but you gotta suck it up, Buttercup. We got this. So I'm going to subtract my 3a on both sides. It's the same types of a's. So when I'm bringing the a's over here, that means I'm going to have to bring my constant, which is, in this case, that negative 24. I need to put all my constants on one side on the other side of the equal sign. So now I have 2a minus 3a, and that gives me a negative 1a. And then I have 12 minus 24. That gives me a negative 12. Remember, when you are having, I don't know, when you're adding or subtracting and the signs are different, you really are subtracting. So think of it this way. If you owe me $24 and you paid me $12, that means you still owe me $12. Give me my money. All right, so now we want to get a by itself. Divide both sides by negative 1. And a negative divided by a negative will give me a positive, and it gives me a positive 12. So we're going back to all the 12s. So this is whose age? It is A, which is Abby's age. And this is how old Abby is now. She is 12. What is the obsessions with 12s? I don't know. It just so happened to be that way. Okay? So that's how you're breaking it down. So notice, once you set it up, then you have to realize I need to isolate my variables. So regardless if it's like this, or if it's just a simplistic one that we had earlier like this, no matter what, you have to get that 1, multiplication table down, 2, learn how to isolate your variables, and 3, feeling confident with it every step of the way. All right, so that's what I wanted to do for today. So this was just to see how things going. I haven't been live on Facebook and on YouTube for a long time, but most of the time over on TikTok. And if you do want to come and see me live, I'll be over there at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just basically doing some age word problems or just general questions to help with the ASVAB, the GED, the AccuPlacer, the TEAS test, the HESI test, basically any test from A to Z that has to deal with algebra. All right. So if you have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can either go to the link in my bio, you can go to my website if you ever have any questions. And again, all of my replays of all of my lives are going to be on YouTube. So if you want to know where to go, this is where you guys can go. And I can actually say it on this, and it's not going to ding me. All right, so you got the YouTube channel. You can go to ACG Math Tutoring, and if you could subscribe, like, and comment, that would be awesome. So again, I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I'll talk with you soon. Take care.